You ever have one of those days where the universe lines up just to mess with you? Because that's how it started for me. 8 minutes after getting back from 3 weeks of desert field training. My truck still wore half the Mojave, my uniform reeked of sweat and smoke, and all I wanted was to sneak down my parents' quiet HOA street, maybe sneak in a nap before someone asked how many scorpions I'd seen. Instead, I got boxed in by a black Dodge Charger, lights flashing, except the lights were this $5 red and blue flasher slapped on the dash, looking about as official as a Happy Meal toy. Then out stepped the guy. You know the type. Mirrored sunglasses, plastic badge clipped to a vest that screamed, Halloween, 90% off. Behind him. Oh, here we go, Brenda Lockwood. Former HOA president of Copper Ridge Estates, power trip queen, grinning like she'd just bagged John Dillinger. Step out of the vehicle, the fake cop barked, palm on his toy badge. For what? For having sand on my tires? For towing a trailer with my camping gear? For existing in a zip code she no longer even controlled? Brenda had one fatal flaw, though. She never, ever looked back. Because coming up the hill behind me was a full military convoy. My convoy. And things were about to get a lot more interesting in her little kingdom. Now, quick pause. Drop in the comments where you're watching from and what time it is. If you've ever gone toe-to-toe with a wild HOA, hit subscribe, because you'll want to see how this circus ends. Back to the story. 3 weeks in the sand. 4 hours of sleep a night. Meals shaped like punishment, and all I wanted was a peaceful drive home. Copper Ridge Estates is the kind of neighborhood where every hedge gets a crew cut and every mailbox matches like it's an army inspection. I grew up there. I knew where normal ended and Brenda territory began. For 5 years, Brenda Lockwood made that line a toxic dump. She didn't walk, she marched. She didn't talk, she announced rules. She made them up, printed them out, and stuck them on your door like ransom notes. Earlier this year, the neighborhood finally voted her out. Not quietly either, my dad wrote. The dragon has fallen. I was overseas, but you bet I celebrated. So imagine my mood, dragging myself down that familiar street, spotting new flyers on every lamp. Post. Neighborhood Patrol Authority active. Enforcement checks in progress. Font, bold. Grammar, questionable. Signature? Director Lockwood. Not president, director, because why let facts get in the way? She'd lost power, so she invented new power. I actually muttered, not today, please. The universe, of course, said, challenge accepted. The Charger skidded sideways in front of me like I was a getaway driver. All I wanted was casserole, Dad's tomato garden war stories, and maybe to hose the sand off my boots. Instead, I get a DIY traffic stop. Now, let's meet Dale Mercer. Imagine a mall cop. Then take away the training, swap the confidence for something he copied from TV, and that's Dale. Sunglasses so shiny I could see my own eye roll. His badge? Neighborhood Patrol. Authority. Ordered at 2 a.m., probably. Vest? 2 sizes too small. And behind him, Brenda herself, pastel cardigan. Ponytail so tight it could launch satellites, notebook in hand before she even reached my window. The woman lived for this. Control was her oxygen. I rolled my window halfway, took a slow sip of warm lemon water, didn't even have the energy for sarcasm. Dale cleared his throat. Like I was supposed to salute. Sir, you're being stopped for a community safety inspection. Is that so? I said. License, registration, and military ID. And what jurisdiction is asking for? That. This neighborhood, he puffed. We're the designated enforcement officers. Your HOA police? Neighborhood Patrol Authority, he corrected, as if that made it less weird. Brenda was just beaming. She'd found herself a new stooge. She pointed at my tires. Dirt residue. That's a violation. Brenda, that's called living. Your trailer is unvetted. Your vehicle is unwashed. You're entering in an unacceptable condition. I told her I'd been in the desert for 3 weeks. That's not this neighborhood's problem, she snapped. Dale moved closer, hand on a dead radio. Step out of the vehicle. No, I said. Brenda's lips curled. He's being noncompliant. Detain him. She meant that. Right there, on a suburban street, with her fake badge and backup. I just leaned back, peeked in my rear view, and there they were. 4 trucks, 3 transports, 1 Humvee. My people, rolling up like a slow-moving thunderstorm. Dust swirling behind them. Captain Elena Morales in the lead, and every soldier in that convoy knew me. Dale kept talking, something about officer discretion. I said, "You might want to turn around." He snapped, "I am giving lawful instructor." And then he saw them. Flatbed, Humvee, soldiers, 20 pairs of eyes on Dale. Confidence to confusion in under 2 seconds. Brenda spun around, hands on hips, about to chew out the army. She froze. The convoy fanned out, flanking the charger. Morales climbed out, moving like the air owed her rent. Even on a quiet street, she had the presence of someone who just doesn't do nonsense. No one spoke, not the soldiers, not the neighbors drifting outside, not even Brenda. Morales eyed the flasher, the vest, the badge, then looked at me. I gave her a look. Don't ask, I have no idea either. She turned to Dale. Identify your law enforcement agency. Neighborhood Patrol Authority, NPA. We enforce community safety protocols. Under whose jurisdiction? The HOA's, he said, all proud. Brenda stepped up. Captain Morales, this is community authority. We are detaining this resident for violations. Morales didn't blink. You're detaining a soldier returning from federal training. Under what statute? Brenda, Community Roadway Appearance Order 14B. Morales, that's not a law. It is within the HOA. No, it's not. Called a voice behind us. Enter Linda Chavez, real HOA president. No costume, no drama, just tired of stupidity. She opened a binder. Brenda, you were removed 3 months ago. Unanimously. Brenda's face flushed. That vote was illegitimate. No, it wasn't. You abused authority, issued fake citations, tried to install surveillance cameras. That was for safety. That was for ego. Morales, you two are impersonating authority and obstructing federal personnel. Step away from the vehicle. Dale tried to act casual, but one of the MPs tapped his window. That light registered? It's for volunteer enforcement. Is it registered? No. MP reached in, took the flasher. Brenda gasped. That's necessary for community safety. Morales. No. That's necessary for TikTok. Even the soldiers snorted. By now, the block was filling up. Neighbors, phones, whispers. Is that Brenda? Is that the army? Kid on a scooter. Mom. Brenda's getting arrested. Not technically. True. But, spirit of the law. Brenda, feeling bold, marched up to Morales, pointed at me, and said I'd endangered her community. Morales just breathed in, slow, patient, like she was about to deliver a lesson nobody survives. Ma'am, you have no authority. Yes, I do. I was elected to protect this community. You were removed. No, I was not. Linda waved the removal document. Brenda lunged. Linda pulled it back. A private in the convoy whispered, $20, says she tries to run. Soldiers snorted, and, right on cue, Brenda looked around like she was about to bolt. I finally got out, stretching muscles that felt like overcooked noodles. Brenda zeroed in. You brought military vehicles into a private neighborhood. They followed me. I didn't summon them like Pokemon. You should have notified the HOA. Tried, but the HOA president was being replaced. Soldiers laughed. Brenda, you mock authority. Morales, he mocks imaginary authority. Should be carved in stone. Then came the moment that went viral. Brenda stepped in front of me, arms out. You are not going anywhere. Brenda, no. You will not walk away from an active investigation. Into what? Dirt obstruction. Of what? Your feelings. A teenage girl on her bike nearly fell over laughing. Morales, ma'am, step aside. Brenda wouldn't move. An MP started recording. Brenda finally backed off when she realized this would hit every group chat from here to the county line. Morales watched my dashcam footage. Her face, calculating. Heavy consequences. Kind of face. Brenda fiddled with her sleeve. Dale looked ready to vanish. I need statements from both of you, Morales said. Now. Dale gulped. Brenda folded her arms. I don't answer to you. I answer to the HOA. Linda. Brenda, you don't answer to the HOA either. The crowd murmured. Everyone got the notice. Brenda's eye twitched. Then Morales turned to Dale. What agency certified you? As Neighborhood Patrol Authority. The HOA. Linda. No, the HOA has no enforcement division. Dale, she appointed me. Brenda, you volunteered. Dale, you said the sheriff approved it. Brenda's smile glitched. Morales MP stepped up, just so the public's aware. Impersonating an officer is a criminal offense. A gasp from the crowd. A teenager. Best day of my life. Brenda. This is harassment. Morales. No. This is accountability. Maybe Brenda realized then she'd lost it all. Or maybe it was when Dale threw her under the bus. Morales. Sergeant Walker. May I have the rest of your footage? I handed it over. Brenda screeched. You can't use that. That's invasion of privacy. You obstructed a soldier on a public roadway. Your privacy ended at a legal traffic stop. That's when the neighbors broke. Mr. Collier, retired Navy chief, marched up. She fined me for my Christmas wreath, said it was emotionally disruptive. Laughter. Someone else. She fined my kid for chalk drawings. She tried to ban wind chimes. Measured my grass. Made me repaint my mailbox because she didn't like the blue. Said my dog was too expressive. Each complaint hammered another nail in Brenda's reign. Brenda. I was protecting this neighborhood. Mrs. Collier. From what birds? Even the MPs lost it. If you followed the rules, none of this would happen. Brenda. There were no rules, Linda said. You made them up. You're lying. No, Brenda. You are. Brenda snapped, stormed toward me. You started this. You humiliated me. I just drove home, I said. They need me. No, Brenda. They need peace. By now, the deputies had arrived. Real law, real badges. Morales handed over the evidence. Impersonation, unlawful detainment, obstruction, harassment. Deputy, who's primary? Morales nodded at Brenda. Deputy, her? A soldier. Buckle up, sir. Brenda tried one last time to claim. Authority. You were removed, Linda said. You threatened my husband over a rake. It was unsightly. The deputy. Enough. Let's separate everyone. Suspects here, witnesses here. Brenda was horrified. Suspect? You impersonated law enforcement. He was certified. Dale? I was not certified. You lied to me. You said we had sheriff approval. I said we had unofficial tolerance. That's not a thing, the deputy groaned. The crowd laughed. I was protecting everyone. He had dirt on his tires. Ma'am, every car has dirt on its tires. Not in my neighborhood. The deputy started listing charges. Brenda, I was acting in good faith. You terrorized your neighbors under the pretense of authority, he said. And for once, Brenda didn't argue. She just stared at the ground, cardigan wrapped tight, crown dissolving in real time. Linda called an emergency HOA meeting, asked me. Yes, me, the guy who just wanted a nap, to advise. Neighbors nominated me right there. I wasn't even sure how I got volunteered. But looking at those people, I realized somebody had to stand up. Real authority doesn't hide behind fake rules. It listens. It protects. It serves. So, if you've ever dealt with someone who confused power for purpose, if you've ever watched a bully crumble when folks finally stood together, let me know in the comments. And if you believe in justice, or just want to share your own HOA nightmare, drop it below. Because real authority? It's not loud. It's not fake. It's earned.